Hashtag Don't Break the Chain is a tech channel on my Discord server about not breaking the chain. This tech channel has a very long legacy with many different videos on my channel being made about the many different arcs it went through. Right now we are on the third version of the tech channel on the new Polygon City Discord server. Over the history, so many different chains have been made, all resulting in different types of chains with varying lengths. But what is the longest chain to ever happen? That is a question we will be looking at today. Welcome to the history of Hashtag Don't Break the Chain, the longest chain. As I said earlier, the Hashtag Don't Break the Chain tech channel has a very extensive history that has been fully documented on my channel. If you want to learn more about the history, please check out this playlist. This video will try not to spoil any of the previous episodes too much, so feel free to watch them another time. The unspoken rule of Hashtag Don't Break the Chain is to copy and paste their previous message so you have a chain of multiple identical messages. There are many different types of chains that we have talked about before, such as text chains, image chains, etc. Today, chains are a lot more complicated than this. Chains evolve and change over time, chains go to war with each other, chains even dwell beyond the tech channel itself. But which chain is the longest chain to ever happen? The first thing to look at is what definition of the longest chain will we use? The length of time the chain was being continued or the amount of total messages in the chain? For now, we will use the amount of time that the chain took place because counting the messages of such long chains is near impossible, especially when the old Don't Break the Chain tech channels have been lost forever. Nowadays, there are many people using the tech channel at once, all of them having different ideas of what chains they want to do, so big chains almost never form. Any chain that attempts to form is going to be constantly competing for relevancy in this absolute war zone of a tech channel. One of the main ways to keep a chain relevant is to consistently evolve it. There are many ways that this can happen. Usually there are things called collage chains where people add new things to a base image over time. Sometimes communities of people get together to continue a chain so they can overwhelm the tech channel and gain more people on their side. We saw something like this very recently with the Oreo chain. This chain had an entire community server made for it where people organized new forms of the chain and were determined to keep chaining it. This also happened back during the Jared arc. But still, no matter how big a chain gets, it is constantly being broken or the image is constantly changing. We still count that as a chain though. Even if a chain evolves into different versions of itself and even if it is constantly being broken in between messages, as long as the same thing is consistently being posted over and over again by different people, it still exists as a chain. This is where we lead to the two main categories of chains, normal chains and pure chains. A pure chain is a chain where the exact same message with no changes is posted over and over again with no breaks in between, completely by the free will of the users. Free will being the key here. That means no bots or real rules that force people to keep it going. It has to be by the free will of the users. Every time a different message is posted in between or if it evolves, it resets the streak of a pure chain. Pure chains are always extremely short and usually last only seconds. Pretty much every chain is made up of hundreds of streaks of pure chains. The other category is normal chains. A normal chain is just any chain that has breaks or changes. Pure chains are basically the building blocks of a normal chain. As an example, here you can see there's a pure chain that is broken. This section is a pure chain and this section is a different pure chain, but overall this is one normal chain. So pretty much anything can be a normal chain as long as it has people sending it consistently in a text channel. So long chains are easy to come by, but a long pure chain is almost impossible. This is because of the size of the server. Everyone in the text channel has a different idea of what they want to chain, and because of the free will of the channel, they can post whatever they want. This means that for a normal chain to survive, it just needs to keep evolving and changing to stay relevant. All the while it is constantly being broken by random people who just don't really care. So what are some of the longest normal chains to ever happen? The first chain of notable length is the Chain Chomper. This chain was created in the very first Don't Break the Chain tech channel back in September of 2020, and is pretty much the foundation of the entire story of this tech channel. Way back in the very beginning of the tech channel, barely anyone used it, so chains were much slower at coming and going, so the average pure chain was much longer. The Chain Chomper started out as a pretty long pure chain of this GIF, and on the second day it started to evolve, constantly changing with more and more effects added to the image. The chain started on the 12th of September and officially ended on the 17th, so this chain lasted for around 5 days straight. Fast forward to March of 2021, in Hashtag Don't Break the Chain 3, another really long chain occurred. This was the chain of the Shattered Form investigation. I will not be going over the whole story of this chain as there is an entire video about that already because there is a lot to talk about with this thing. It started on the 2nd of March 2021. Each day of the following week, the image would evolve into the next layer, and in between those layers, the members made their own versions of the image, so there were a ton of different evolutions of this base image. This chain also had an extensive lore story behind it which helped keep it being chained for a while. So basically, this chain had so many different things keeping it relevant. It went on for 12 days straight until being officially ended on the 14th of March. Once again, going back to the original text channel, one of the most important changes in history took place. Following the success of the original Don't Break the Chain video, the text channel gained more and more users, but little did they know that a storm was brewing. On October 4th, the dancing cow was born. This chain instantly took over the text channel. Barely anyone even dared to break it, and soon after, it quickly began evolving into new forms. On October 25th, after 21 whole days straight of the cow's chaos, the chain was officially ended. Even though the dancing cow went on for an impressive 21 days straight, it was still consistently being broken and evolved many times. What would be really impressive is a long pure chain, but in reality, there are no significantly long pure chains to ever happen in the text channel. So on October 13th, 2021, I decided to attempt to make a pure chain as an experiment. I sent this message in the text channel. Yo guys, can we form a pure chain out of this image? Don't edit it or anything and don't break it, just keep sending the image, I think that would be funny. Immediately, people began chaining the image with a few random breaks in between. It got up to a streak of only 11 messages in a row before chain breaks just kept happening. Even with such a simple request, for absolutely everyone to agree is just impossible. Some tried to keep it pure, some just wanted to be unique and post a funny edit, and some just wanted to chain something else. A pure chain simply isn't possible. So, are there just no significant pure chains? Is the dancing cow the longest chain to ever happen? I guess significant pure chains just don't exist. Or do they? What if I told you that there is a perfectly pure chain on the server that has lasted for an extremely long time that nobody even knows about? Let me explain. On our server, there are 4 different general chats that people know about. Hashtag General, Hashtag General 2, Hashtag Level 15 General, and Hashtag Level 30 General. Level 15 General is accessible when you gain Level 15 on the server, and Level 30 General is accessible with Level 30. Potentially thousands of members have reached Level 15 on the server, and only around 100 people have reached Level 30. But now, let me introduce to you the location of this so-called chain, Level 100 General. The secret general chat that nobody has access to because not even a single person in the server thus far has legitimately reached Level 100. But how is there an ongoing chain in a text channel that nobody has access to? That's where the staff come in. Staff on the server have a natural permission to chat in any text channel. They also have permission to create text channels. One day, an anonymous moderator on the server created the secret text channel titled Level 100 General. The staff member Melody was the first person to send a message in the chat. On June 11th, 2021, they simply sent a troll face. The perfect icon that displays the irony of this text channel's existence. The pure irony of a channel that nobody has ever even dreamed of reaching, that the mods just have free access to. An immature display of power. The icon of the trollage. Completely unplanned, another mod sent another troll face. Then another mod joined in. The emotion displayed by this emote was all that was needed to communicate what had to be done. Not a single word was spoken about starting a chain. Everyone just had a mutual agreement to keep sending troll faces one after another. Thereafter, not a single time has this chain ever been broken, edited, or evolved. The staff team just kept sending troll faces. A week passed, then a month passed, 2 months passed, until now, around 5 months later, this pure chain is still ongoing to this day. As of me making this video, the chain currently has just about over 1,000 total messages. As I said earlier, not a single member on the server has ever reached level 100, and nobody even knows if this will ever happen. Hopefully, the fated first user to reach such a level continues the chain too. Until then, this chain will forever go on in secret, never to be broken. And there you have it. This secret troll face chain at level 100 General is the longest chain and the longest pure chain to ever exist on the server. Technically, this chain is in a text channel that is extremely exclusive and done in secret, which pretty much discredits you from ever comparing it to anything in the actual Don't Break the Chain text channels. A real chain should be available to everybody and should only be continued by the free will and natural agreement of the many different users. That's why this chain is only technically the longest chain. The longest real normal chain is the Dancing Cow, which went on for an impressive 21 days. The longest real pure chain is unknown because the significant one simply hasn't happened yet, and probably never will. For the entire text channel of users to completely agree to chain the exact same thing for a long period of time is simply impossible. Maybe someday the users will get together and create a pure chain. Maybe someday someone will gain level 100 and help continue the trollface chain. I'm Polygon Donut, and this has been the history of the longest chains. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already, but most importantly, don't break the chain.